I don't know if these were Connie's, so maybe a copy for Connie too, because I don't know. It sounded like she might have been in a hurry. Oh, shoot. And she gave me, I don't like these, but she's like in hand in January. And June. I just make a note.
Oh, shoot, okay. I think Mike should hold off on these proposals.
I work on them, because I saw, that it didn't count the pumping.
Yeah, RTG's doesn't have the septic pumping, and then she doesn't have anything from,
And this is
What's his
like the
name?
May and June schedule. But I didn't realize I didn't print it. But we can put this in January's, right?
yeah, I'm not worried about that right now.
Because I know she's been working on that. Okay. 6 o'clock. Did I text Roy, everybody, or?
I would, he hasn't said that he's not coming,
He didn't
so.
say anything to me. I'm like, well, let me let my text and see if she's not coming. Once a week. That's not, okay. Okay, I'm gonna call the December 9th, 2024 board meeting to order. And can you stand and salute?
Yeah, we can.
everyone?
You're live.
Listen, at least I'm not gonna do what county did. They moved the flag today. We're all like this and we're like, and then the lawyer goes, it's over here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, public, you want to speak during the revolving loan? Okay. Chief Christian, would you like to speak?
I just have a question regarding back to that place down on the corner. Is there anything in any regulations about condemning a building?
I don't know. You asked me today, but I had already left the county. So I really don't have any clue on how we go about that. The only one, and I don't even know who has authority to condemn a building. I would think
I would
it's only
think the county.
codes.
There are codes, so,
I know it's,
no, Ian
the
would
way
be,
I looked it up is it's the jurisdiction of that area. So I didn't know if it would be under the county, under the town, under.
see, the county does our code enforcement, so
Which over that.
it's probably the
Let
county.
me write myself a note.
Ian would be the one to ask that question, I would think.
Because I'm just, not only the building that they tore part of the wall off, the basement's totally exposed, so somebody can just fall in.
Really?
But the other building itself, the one that's made out of the concrete blocks, if you go look, the whole corner of it, the blocks are probably this much gap all the way up through, so the building's in danger of collapsing there.
Right.
And they still go in and out of that building and still light fires in it sometimes, and
Really? Who owns it?
it went up for a tax auction, so I don't know who
Who
owns
owns it
Do-
now?
Marcos Hernandez.
Do you know the
He's the
address of it again?
it. I don't right offhand. I
Well,
know
that was
the old firehouse is 3327, so there's 1, 2, 3, it's 3 places before that.
Okay, but
that's,
it's the corner of 8, State Highway 8 and 23.
I'm trying to look up to see if we can,
Is it Hernandez?
Hernandez, HERNANDZ.
Nandez.
Well, these are-
So the old firehouse was what?
The old firehouse is 3327.
So the two that he owns is 3313 and 3315. But is that State Highway 8 or is that one, because it faces 23?
I would think
Because you
they'd be
had the one that was
23.
the old hardware, that would be on
8.
8. And then the old M&M furniture, that's gonna be on 23.
So the other two that he owns on 23 are 6341 and 6343. That's probably the big
M&M
building and then the,
and the laundry, the old laundry.
yeah. So
How many-
6341 and 6343, State Highway 23.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how they do that. I would say it has to be through codes to condemn something.
Safety issue too, I think. To the community.
Because they did give them the violation notice after you came, they went there and gave them a notice.
So they did.
Yeah. Because we had that come back to us. He gave me a copy of it. So, but I can call, I guess that would be Dave Gorman at county.
Because I know there's Ian, that's a code officer, and then there's,
Well, Ian does Shenango County, so we probably could just ask Ian. And see.
He goes forward, yeah.
I know the last time I was there over another issue, has nothing to do with this. The guy has a stack on his desk this high. Because like I'm in the middle for my other issue. And I went to go see him. I went in there today, but there was people in there and I had to get to the county meeting. So, all right. But I will try to find out and let you know. Anything else? No, everything's good?
so far.
Just want to give you a shout out to the South Berlin Fire Department. I heard raves about Meet Santa and the Santa breakfast. Raves. Like it was so awesome what you guys did.
That's what they hear.
So I wish I could have came, but I was busy that morning working.
Did they also win first place in Parade of Lights? We did.
You did?
We did.
Wow, congrats.
No, I think pancakes and Santa, and
Me too.
it worked out really well this year. We had the stuffed animal giveaway and
Yeah.
it just worked out really well.
It
Lots
was,
of happy kids. Lots
Yeah,
of happy kids.
that's beautiful what you guys do. So I'm
Yeah.
thanking you personally and, I wanted to put that shout out. Okay, anything else? No public, you're here? No public.
No problem.
All right, I need a motion to approve the monthly meeting minutes for November 12th. And then we also have November, the special meeting, November 20th.
I'll make a motion.
Are you motion both of
I
them?
motion both.
Okay.
Okay.
John, second. Do I say any discussion now or after we vote? Any discussion now? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. Highway, come on up.
Sorry, I'm taking up like the whole day.
That's okay, I got a little piece of paper. November, we got all the trucks and everything ready for the winter. We put up more snow markers to help them with the bad visibility situations. We had a washout problem on Shaver Road, which is, if you guys are familiar with that, it's behind the new firehouse in South Cabron. You go up West Hill, it's where Shelby's live, if you're familiar with that family at all. They had a pipe that was washed out there and needed some attention, so that's what we did. Joey ran the machine. We're trying to get him a little bit more time in the machines and whatnot. And same with everybody. We marked more crossover pipes in town. We put almost 150 delineator posts up. Still have a heck of a lot more to do. It's going to cost a little money, but it'll pan out for us in the future.
Hey, I don't know what that means.
So the pipes underneath the road that go
Okay.
from one side to the other, you have to mark them out
And
Because-
how do you do that?
with delineator posts. It's a metal post with a reflector on it.
Oh,
So-
that's what that means? Like a yellow reflector or
We use
green?
green.
Green?
Yeah,
Okay.
Green is our
And that means there's a pipe going under.
Yep.
Is that a pipe for drainage or,
Yes.
okay, a drainage pipe,
Because if we ever have a flooding situation, we need to know where they are so we don't lose a road.
okay.
Fridays and bad weather days, we cleaned and maintained our equipment, and we trying our best to clean up the shop space. We've been dealing with a lot of beavers here lately still, so we're trying to unplug pipes and cleaning those out. We got our first delivery of 200 ton of salt. Cargill did not win the bid this year. We use American Rock Salt now. They won it. It was $1 difference, and they're all the way out of Penn-Yan. So
Is there a shipping fee for that?
there's a fuel surcharge every time, but they include that. You know, when you guys do the bills,
Okay.
you'll see they add the fuel surcharge into the tonnage price. So it might
Now-
look a little funny.
Is that a state bid?
Yes. OGS.
Okay, oh, so we always go with the state
Always,
bid?
yeah. Cargill's had it since I think at least 2000. And this is the first year they won it over $1. So
Okay, I was confused about that. I didn't know if we put it out for bid or if we just go with the
no,
state
it's
bid.
county, yeah. Well,
Oh,
county
it's
state,
county.
but yeah. But everybody piggybacks off that OGS. So. And then I've taken Joey out for some driver training with the plows. He seems to be getting used to the truck pretty good. I haven't had him drive yet. He's ridden with me at least. Well, we pretty much plowed snow all last week, so there's he's just trying to learn it, and I'm gonna be getting Matt in the truck soon, so hopefully he can figure it out too.
Good.
Going into December, we're gonna go through the rest of the shop, cleaning out some outdated stuff, but kind of like what we did last winter. I'd like to give the shop a little bit of a facelift too, maybe put a little paint down and just try to kind of make it look a little bit modern, I guess, get out of the Stone Age. The walls and stuff haven't been cleaned in the shop in a long, long time. The cobwebs are pretty bad and just
You power wash it or no?
yeah, we got I think Jason got his pressure washer down. We use that once in a while, so.
I think
use
we
it.
have one in the police garage too.
I don't know.
Because he got one donated. I think you have to plug it in. But you probably not, we don't own one, a power one?
No, we don't. We just use garden hose, but I mean, Jason doesn't mind, so
Okay.
we just use that. Just trying to keep busy this winter is hopefully we have some snow to plow so the guys can learn how to plow, and
Yeah,
we've been busy the past couple days anyway.
Let's see, a week you been
Yeah, it
there.
was
A week?
busy. That's about all I got.
can I ask you, up at Millbrook, because Connie sent me pictures, is one of the, panels ruined on the fence?
It probably could be straightened if you took it apart, but I don't know how that fence comes apart, so.
Well, fence where?
A tree, the beavers chewed it and it fell on, you know where you're looking at going down the beach, like you're on top of the beach and you're looking down, that fence here past the pavilion,
Okay.
it goes to the woods.
Uh-huh.
The trees fell on that and it's bent. But I don't know how bad, I mean, I just got a
It's
picture of
Can I
it,
Cleaned
see the
up pretty
picture?
good.
if you can find it. You know how to search, it'd be under Connie Lewis. That's why I was just curious how bad that
Yeah,
was.
I don't know how the fence comes apart.
Cause it looked like it was only once, like maybe a whole fence, right?
Yeah, I apart in pieces, so
Okay,
it probably, the fence is pretty, it can take some abuse, but the piping,
yeah, it was like the
We had
top
to-
pipe,
we
right?
had to replace a pipe, it might be the extent of it, but other than that, it's
It
fine.
just comes apart in each end, molded.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just a
Yeah,
straight pipe that's gonna have to be
like I said,
replaced.
the chain link part,
You know,
that's pretty.
the chain link part will pop back for the most part.
Okay. 287,
284,
284, I never remember the number.
yep,
Okay,
got a game plan going,
okay, all right, because I'll need a copy of that.
you need that before the new year?
I'd like it by
Yeah,
January,
I can have
or our first January meeting,
Yeah.
right?
it.
Listen, it's all new to us, I
Yeah,
don't know
I
when
know.
it's supposed to technically
Yeah.
begin.
I know every.
Now, are you gonna list the roads that you're gonna do this year on that? Is that gonna be your plan? Like the
So
worst,
I'm-
like you said, you're gonna start with the worst roads and,
No, I plan on just using every mile of road that we have, which is just about 60 miles of road, or 50 miles of road, sorry.
Isn't that supposed to be based on just next year's, what we're gonna do next year?
Yeah, but if I make it vague and I say that I wanna work on all of them.
Oh, okay, they did say keep
Yeah,
that,
yeah, oh, yeah.
because I don't really know, it's our first time ever really,
You know,
okay,
I don't wanna tell you I wanna work on
Right.
3 roads and we don't get to
get
them.
to them.
And then I allocate funds for another
That's
road.
right, okay, that makes sense. Next thing, did you find your, help me, John, we talked about it in the meeting.
We did?
Inventory,
Oh,
inventory list.
No, I
I
haven't.
didn't find it either. I don't
I
know
didn't,
why.
I looked on the
I looked
computer.
for days, I could not find it.
I don't see
Well,
it.
I know I have a copy.
Do you?
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure I have a copy. If
Give it
not,
to him.
Debbie has a copy.
Yeah, we could-
Throw it-
we
Could
could
you
add to
put
that.
one in his
You'll have
mailbox
to add
because
to
he's
it
got
the
a,
new truck and-
Yeah,
and you'll have to take off what we
Or whatever you
surplus.
bought. in between.
Okay, so Debbie will put a copy in your mailbox.
Equipment, whatever you bought.
Mhm.
Tools and everything.
Okay, do I have anything else? I don't think so. I'm good. Anybody else got any questions for Brandon? John, Sarah, Roy, good? Go get some sleep.
Guess we got somebody waiting for it to snow.
Oh, yeah. I think we've got more snow already this year than we did
Yeah,
all
last
last
year,
year.
yeah, I think so too, yeah.
Which is all good. If it would just freeze up, it'd be smooth sailing.
Yeah, we're supposed to.
Thanks, Brandon.
Right.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right, see ya. All right, police report, anybody? No, all good, you got anything? We can do it in committees.
Yeah, and actually I don't, it's pretty
Okay.
quiet right now.
You be careful with that keyword.
I know.
Town supervisor, I think I've talked to Moo about it. I don't know if I talked to you about it, Sarah. Over at county level, we had the public hearing because we went over the 2% cap, which I told you we were going to. We had a lot of public speak about it. They wanted to use our reserves, but our accountant, Bill Crane, really suggests it's not because it's gonna hurt us worse next year if we take out of our reserves. And so the budget did pass. I think it's at a 3.7 re-levy. But the county supervisors made a motion not to take their 4% increase. So the supervisors, it's not gonna help with the going over. It's like a matter of 13,000, but I wanted to let you know that. We had our CSEA union contract meeting or vote. Everybody came to the table. They've been negotiating since October. They started in October, finished it up in November. Everybody was happy. All the delegates that negotiated signed. The vote was December 5th. It did not pass. So right now, they do not have a CSEA contract.
Okay.
So as of today, we are going into it's called an impasse. And we'll have to pay for arbitrators to come in and I didn't even know what impasse meant. I said, I'm new, I don't understand what's happening. So they explained it to me and the lawyers will meet with everybody. So that contract did not pass, so start January 1, they do not get their 4% raise unless they get to the negotiations and they can work it out.
How far did they get on the issue?
That it is being investigated. We were in executive session today. There has been no result. But from what I understand, they have a lot of evidence and they're not sure if they're gonna use the Taylor law against the union on it yet. But they're hoping to wrap up the investigation by the end of this week. And they may have to call the supervisors in for a special meeting to go on that. So,
The probably should help negotiations.
well, not only, I didn't realize the CSEA is not just the DPW, it's the office workers, it's a bunch of employees.
Yeah.
And at the county level, there's 360 employees that are in this CSEA contract. Only 127 of them join the union and pay union dues. The others don't.
See, no.
So only 99 came to
Mhm.
vote.
They're the ones who can vote, right?
And it was like a 57, 42, I think. That's how little. Then it did pass. I can't remember the exact numbers. I left my pocketbook at home with the notes. The other thing that was a big hot topic at county was on the budget, there was no public transit. It was zeroed out the line. The zeroed out is because they're still negotiating a contract. And the company that is hired has not came back. So if you hear any complaints, as of January 31st, there will be no public transit in Shenango County right now. They're looking, because they came back, but they wanted $1 million more. And the county couldn't afford it. They negotiated, come back with 800. They wanted to extend it. They didn't come back to us. And now we're looking at other options. And the problem, we own the buses. This is just the service to run the buses. So the buses will be, if you see them, they'll be parked at the airport if they don't come up with but they're working for other solutions so we don't lose public transit, because that was a hot topic. So we are working to get other
We
than
still
that.
came up with 800,000, you did, right? They're asking for $1 million more than,
Yeah, it's
And you
2
ended
point something million right now, the budget. They asked for $1 million more, so it was gonna be 3 point something.
you came up with.
And then they negotiated they came back to us at 800
Oh,
more.
They came back, oh, okay.
They came back with 800 more. They were still negotiating it, and I think they put another proposal out, and they've never come back to us.
Oh, I see.
And then they came back, wanted us to extend it, but didn't really didn't contact the lawyer, because I think they wanted to extend it because it's based on another contract with somebody else. That's why they wanted to extend it. But they're at the bargaining table, so I don't know and so the
did
county's.
they take the 2.8 that they originally had out of the budget as well?
No, it's allocated for something, because a lot of it to get the public transit was based on grant money. So, and the grant wouldn't cover the increase. So that would be local share.
So it's
Another
still
$1 million would be
sitting
local
there
share.
somewhere,
It's
so.
still allocated for public transit.
Yeah, I
We
was
just
wondering the
don't,
same thing.
Because I thought,
We
wait
just
a
don't
minute,
know what
2.something
company-
million, think
we
about
don't
how
know
much
what company they're
further
gonna
ahead
end
that
up with.
3.7%.
Because you gotta understand, we own the buses. We just don't own the people to
Right.
work the buses and manage it and
It's
all
gonna
that.
it's gonna hit the community very hard.
It's, we've had a lot of upset people about it, so,
Doctor's appointments for some of these other ladies.
so they're really diligently working on trying to find a solution for who's gonna run it, or if these people are gonna come back, so. But no, we still have the money, because I was confused about that too, but that was definitely brought up today. Other than that, that's all I have, county level. And I completed a year at county.
Yay!
As supervisor. So I was pretty proud of myself today. So that was kind of like, whoo, we made it through a year. So moving forward, town justice. I don't think there's any questions on it. I did get a letter from the justice, and I will be setting up an appointment with her to audit her books probably the last week of December. I haven't talked to her. She sent me a letter. South of Berlin Water, this is Matt's thing. I got a bunch of it that we're gonna talk about later. So, the assessor, she did call me the other night when it was snowing and asked me, and she had been sick too, because she missed work at Green, and asked me if it was okay that she didn't come in. And I think she emailed you, Deb, to put a note in the door. I said, absolutely, because we didn't know how bad it was gonna be that night. Town clerk's report. Any questions? I just have one, Deb, you had one FOIL request this month.
Yep.
I thought that you were gonna email me those. I thought we weren't putting them on there. Wasn't that in the minutes? You were just gonna tell supervisor?
I thought you asked me to note it on my report. It wasn't anything that required an attorney.
Okay, so it was nothing.
I was only supposed to email you if it required an attorney.
Oh, I thought it said just to email, we weren't gonna put it on reports, that you and Dave were just gonna email the supervisor. That's what I thought the minutes said.
Okay, yeah, I probably
So-
just misread or misinterpreted when I was doing my report.
Millbrook, Connie texted me, she will not be in work tomorrow. Her husband was sick. I think she left early today. And she had to take him to the hospital. They are taking him to Banton. So I don't know what's wrong with him. She said she'd fill me in later. So her report is in the packet. We do have some estimates on the, which we're gonna table tonight on the pumping of the septics. But Reynolds to Go only did our porta potties. They didn't do our, so I think we should really wait. And right now with the two tellers, it's still cheaper. So we get Reynolds to Go.
Can I just ask a question about the county?
Yes,
We're doing those tables for Millbrook over at work. I don't know if the guys, if she.
oh, yes, thank you. She got an email today. There's,
Okay.
Is
I didn't
there-
know if she got.
she
if we
did
got-
get it.
with you
she did
saying
tell
that
me. 2 of them are done?
We will have 2 of them ready by Friday.
Right, she was gonna drive up there to see if it's plowed. I should have asked Brandon to get them under the pavilion where the beach area is. Well, now with the rain, we should be able to. But
That's where we were just wondering where.
Yeah, where would you, these are the new handicap that the county's getting. They gotta go under a pavilion.
Okay.
I just,
I didn't know, and I heard you talk about her saying she had to take her husband, so I didn't know
Yeah,
if she was.
let me ask you do you have Brandon's number?
Yep.
Maybe just text them before you guys deliver to make sure it's clear so you can get them under. I'm thinking the pavilion closest to the beach
I would think so, yeah.
to get them, because the other one's up the little knoll.
Dig it up too much.
Or the one that's behind, right next to the road in the
Yeah,
outskirts,
fine.
either one. I don't know where they store the picnic tables. They store them
All of
under
them.
all of them.
All of them, I think.
Yeah,
Because they will be heavy, they're 10 foot.
Are they?
I don't think
They're
they
all
are
treated
stored
2 by
under
6.
all of them. They're
No,
they're
all under one.
Well, it's on a hill, right?
The one on the, yeah, I can't remember what one it is.
What was that? What?
The,
It's easier with 4, but.
hold on, there's the Robin's Nest, the
They're
Osprey.
heavy tables.
That
Well, if
one,
you need help, just
yeah, they're all
talk to
under the
Brandon.
Osprey.
Have guys meet you up there.
yeah, have the guy, like,
Oh,
set it
no
up with
problem.
Brandon so that we can get them and
Well,
get
where
them
would
to.
you be placing them is what would be important, like for the season?
Well, I think they're
Yeah.
gonna be one's gonna be under the public one. One's gonna be out in aren't you gonna place one out where the picnic area is? And the other 2 in pavilion.
Well, I thought we talked, how many are we getting? 4?
4.
Oh, okay, yeah, then public
Sure.
picnic area and one in every pavilion would be 4.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, so I'm
So-
thinking if you could do like 2 at the beach one and then 2 at the Robin's Nest, and then once the weather's clear, then get one to the Osprey.
Yeah, I don't know how much room is up there. I haven't been up there. since-
Only because if they weigh that much, you don't want to be hauling them all the furthest
Well,
away.
I think they usually put them all up in Osprey so they don't get messed with all winter. So
Oh, I see. Let's see. Tough
see
to
if you
get up
have
there.
them down under cover, right?
Yeah, that'll be.
I don't know if he's
tough.
got room down in the garage yet. Look at that. Front of it.
Well,
Yeah, just check with Brandon. Say,
Yeah,
we're gonna be
someplace else.
delivering. Are you gonna wait to deliver all 4? Or are you gonna deliver
No,
the 2?
we'll deliver the 2 because our workshop that we have is confined area, so we'll get.
We
2
wanna get
them
them out of there.
Oh,
Okay.
worst
2 out,
case-
and then-
worst case scenario, we can always put them in that little fenced area behind the little office now.
Yeah,
We
do
just
we-
have to stack them.
Do we want them covered though?
They're
I'm
all
sure-
treated,
They're
they're all
treated, so
treated,
no
but,
matter
Okay.
how long
we just recommend that. for the
Lay 'em up
year,
sideways.
use the Townsend's water seal or something on them after that, and then they're good to go.
Okay, okay. All right, yeah, just check with Brandon, make sure it's clear if we get more snow so you can, you can have our couple guys up there to meet you. All right, yeah, I forgot, thank you for reminding me that, she told me that today. So that was great, that was very nice of the county to help us out. She does have, May and June schedule here, but I didn't print it, so I'll just put it in next packet. Okay. And then, starting January 1, we are gonna have her still come in to the office because she will not be the deputy or the clerk to the supervisor anymore. She'll just be here for Millbrook, okay? And I think she's gonna do those hours on Monday and Tuesday again. And we will post it on, I'll have Sarah post it on the website with the phone numbers. And I believe she's got the website set up.
Yeah, it's like prepared to be
Posted,
posted.
so January 1, we can start booking. So we're ready to roll. Okay. All right, planning board minutes, there is none, because you're,
One there, so-
oh, was there something for planning board?
I don't have
I
any.
thought so.
That's
CD loan.
That's a CD loan,
Yeah, I didn't see any.
All right, sorry.
okay, because you guys are done till when now, John? May? No, March, okay. All right. Now, if you haven't met Mr. Chuck Muller, this is Roy Stockwell. He is our new president for the Community Development Loan Fund, and take it over. Chuck?
Well, I just want to give a little background. My background was working for 2 different equipment dealerships over 35 years. And training salespeople, but my biggest part was the finance side. How we funded for equipment for floor planning, and how we financed, and what rates we set up, and how we negotiate the rates with the banks and institutions that we dealt with. What happened was, at our last committee meeting, we had Wendy there to tell us that you were concerned about the rate we had put together. So I want to go over a couple of things on the rate and why we're doing what we're doing and what we've changed it to. Today, prime rate, not what the federal rate is, but prime rate to any bank is 7.75%. That's what they loan money for most home improvements today for an equity loan. And it goes by prime, and that's a floating rate, variable rate. So it's adjustable as it goes down. But it's not as low as everybody thinks, because when you look at Fed rate, that's 3.75%. Or 4.75%. So there's a 3-point difference, and that's how the banks make their money. What they're paying today in CDs ranges from 3.5% to over 5.25%, depending on where you take the money, if you're going to put $50,000 in. My concern with setting a loan rate too low is this. People who've got the wherewithal and capability, have money, and say, instead of me going to pay to put a new septic system in, I go borrow from the loan fund at a 2% rate, and I can put my money in a CD and collect 5%. I think that's a real backward thinking. I'm concerned about the village, what they've done, but I don't care about the village. We're talking about what the town's gonna do and what we're trying to accomplish. And the money is really there, we're looking at to fund people who need it, not people who don't need it. And this is going to take time. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not going to be developed in a way, because we're still looking to get more funding. That fund that's there, hopefully, will be gone in the first 60 days. We get to start processing in the spring. At our last committee meeting, our treasurer came in and she commented, well, the NBT is loaning money at 5.5%. They're not. What they did was they cut a rate for 6 months. The first 6 months, you get at 5.5%, then it goes to variable rate.
Oh.
I double checked on this, because it did make sense to me.
Okay, yeah.
But what we did agree to in the committee meeting, I'm not gonna go back on this, we agreed to a 4.5% rate, which is a very fair rate. We're watching the market rate. Once a year, we're gonna make a change in the rate based on what we see in the market rate. It's lower than what people can borrow money anywhere else, at that 4.5% rate. And what we're looking at is bringing money back in so we can help fund more. You hopefully aren't gonna make too many mistakes, but they will happen where people don't pay. Okay? You're not gonna recover that no matter what interest rate you charge.
Right.
We're gonna try and minimize that by the way we process the applications, and obviously come to the board with those applications for our recommendations and take it from there. But I'm asking for the board to keep that in mind instead of, I understand why we want to give money away to people to help them out. We do. Well, then just give them the money. If you're going to put a revolving program in that's going to be there for years to come to help fund,
Yeah.
things that are gonna take place. And for us to go out and get grant money to bring in, to use in the same process, we
These
gotta
are-
show,
Yeah, these started out with grants and then
Absolutely.
some were, a lot of the jobs went as grants because people couldn't afford
Right, sure.
to pay it.
And HUD had that available, but you look at what the qualifications were, and I'm gonna tell you, the county didn't wanna deal with it. This was actually money that came, the county was given money by HUD, and the county gave it to the towns. But then they wanted to get paid for watching it. And then everybody, HUD didn't want any more to deal with it, they all threw their hands up. My background, I dealt with New York State OGS on a lot of contracts and a lot of financing. We did a lot of government, local municipal financing, and it's the lowest rate around. Everybody said, how could you lease a machine to a government agency for 3% when Joe Blow comes in and he's got to pay 7.5%? Well, we did, the way you could do this, because the government gave tax relief to the finance companies to loan to government agencies. That's how you got it done. As long as the manufacturer of the product was using mainly US manufacturing and bring products in from overseas, you couldn't loan it that cheap. You couldn't come up with a government program. But most machinery today, you're lucky 50% is made here in the States, you know, because you take just the steel, you know, it's all being mined in South America. And they moved all the production of the framework down there, and then they ship it up here to assemble. So that's just, I wanted to give you a little bit of my history and why I wanted to see it go this way. We definitely want to work with the board and have you give us any recommendations or your thoughts of what you want to see done.
Is that how you're gonna approve loans, by the need more than?
Well, number one, it depends on how the application, we're not gonna hold the money waiting for somebody who's got the highest need. It's gonna come in,
Okay.
let's say we're lucky and we get 10 applications in the first 3 months. When we look at the 10 applications, we go by the time they come in first, and then what is the need, and is it doing something to improve the property or meeting code that they're required to meet anyways. The code becomes more important than a paint job. You know, if somebody has a septic problem, yeah, you've got to take care of that first. And that's what we'll try and deal with. You can't base it on credit. You're going to base some on credit to make a decision on the loan, but not base it on credit as to whether or not you're going to give money to them because they want to do, you know, paint job versus doing the septic system.
I think it's different than what the program was Wrigley, because Wrigley, you had money.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
you had the grants.
Exactly.
So, okay, we can give away this and this and this, we'll loan that and that and that. And that's kind of the way it operates.
That's right. That's right.
And,
And we're still gonna look for grant money to give as well. This isn't, you know, there is still availability of some grants out there, but you gotta go jump through hoops to get them.
yes,
And we're gonna attempt to do that. But we've also gotta show need. And we can't show the need until we start getting applications. And that's one of the reasons, not only do we wanna promote it through the advertising, but I wanna make sure we get involved community centers. You know, I volunteer the Office of the Aging, so I do a lot with transporting people for the medical appointments, taking care of delivering meals, and in Sherburne and New Britain. And I'm a big proponent of making sure that everybody locally knows about it. That's part of the problem is some people you go all the age you want, they're not gonna see it unless you can put out flyers in community areas like the fire departments, and, you know, to help get this promoted to the public so they know that it's available. Because I guarantee that most people will tell you they never heard there was a loan program.
Right. I'm sure.
Available, even when it was working,
Right.
you know.
So
20
we're
years
definitely
ago.
gonna put an ad in the paper, and that's where, I think we talked about it, but I can't really remember. Like, would we, to pay for the ad, would the town pay for that out of our coffers, or would we take it out of the money we're gonna loan? How do you guys feel about that? To get something in the newspaper?
I don't think you have a
I would
line.
think I mean, you could nitpick it, but I would say it ought to be a town business. You
To
know,
put it under the
it's
town?
something
That's
you
what
want-
I was
The town
hoping.
wants to get.
I was
the word
hoping
out.
we could do that so
You
we
wanna
get the
promote it,
word
so
out.
Probably
because we
gonna
want
have to pay
promote it.
for it
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but
Because you
you've
don't
been
have a lot of
collecting the
money
interest on the money that you
Yeah.
sent down all these years that hasn't been anything done. So that was gonna be my next point on it.
Thanks,
Well,
Chuck.
It's not like we're talking about a $2,000.
No, it's
No,
gonna be
no,
minimal,
no,
it's gonna be minimal. And
Really
Joan was gonna
close.
work on an ad so we can get a flyer out.
Yep.
We, they've redone the application, they did some verbiage in which you can see. So, and then we didn't put, we decided what, it was 4.5 now instead of
4.5 is what we're.
for residential.
Right, and we're not gonna promote
Push
commercial
commercial
right now.
yet, we
It's
don't
all-
have enough money.
Yeah, there isn't that much money though. So we're gonna push the residential, and that's really where we wanna have the biggest impact anyways. And if we can get more funding and it works out, okay, we'll look at opening it up then to commercial as well.
I
And
would
in the
think in this
commercial
day,
range,
I would think in this day and age, you know, things like sewers and like that would, sewers, maybe handicap ramps and things like that would you could lean more toward getting grants for that kind of stuff than you will say new roofs or something like that.
No, exactly, but the whole, when you look back at the old HUD programs that were available years ago, when I was involved with some municipalities at that time, it was money to ensure that communities were looking better instead of getting run down.
But it's kind of helping the tax base.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I know I was involved in
Yeah.
doing the job mostly,
Sure.
but that was pretty much what it was all about.
I mean, the big thing is, once we do it, we want to also make sure we're promoting what successes take place through it, so that it invites other people to come in and get to participate as well.
No, village residents wouldn't be able to apply, would they?
No, we
No.
set it up for just the town. because
So then
the
this would be a
village has their own
TOV expense.
Because, the village does, it's only for
Well,
the
well,
village.
that's what I had assumed. So this would definitely then fall under TOV, like the planning board, because it doesn't affect the
Right.
village at all. So it wouldn't go to general. So this would just, all right, just kind of a side note. So TOV. Okay.
So, yeah, so how do you guys feel about 4.5 for residential? You guys good with that? Makes sense.
Gotta go with it, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
we're gonna
after
review it
listening
each
to how it
year
was
in the
explained.
summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, each time.
Yeah.
We'll decide.
So, and then hopefully John will have the ad in, we can get an ad, or make the flyer, and the meeting's gonna be March 20th. But are we gonna advertise, we're gonna try to advertise before that?
Oh, absolutely. January is when we're gonna start
When it
advertising.
start
And as soon as they're
advertising.
ready, we're gonna put flyers together to get it
So-
out there.
Everybody look at the application stuff. If you have any questions, let us know right away, because they went through it tooth and nail and changed some verbiage and stuff. So I think we're ready to roll come January 1. Sarah, you can help me get it on the website, or Deb can, and,
Are you
like I
guys
said,
motioning to 4.5?
Joan,
Is that how you're gonna advertise too on the web? You're gonna try to advertise some of this on the
Absolutely,
web?
absolutely.
we'll make flyers, put it
Once
in
she
the
gets the
paper.
flyer set up, then we're gonna take that and start looking from the artwork to use that in the web as well, so.
All right.
When-
Do you want to make a motion for the 4.5 in favor of it?
On the applications, can you get that on the website too? Are you gonna be able to?
We're
Yeah,
gonna,
I can make that a fillable application, and get it set up so we can put it right on. The problem is, I don't like to have it fillable for several reasons. One is there's documentation that has to apply with the application. And privacy is part of the issue you deal with putting an application,
oh, yeah, maybe we should just have them come pick
especially
it
the
up.
documentation they've got.
Because they're gonna have personal information on this.
Exactly,
Oh, yeah, I know.
exactly. And that's why it's gonna be for the treasurer's eye only.
Right.
You know, to get, when the paper comes in, should be
Like
a sealed
it'll
envelope.
go in
I was
Joan's
reading that, I thought-
mailbox, because it'll have to be in a sealed envelope, because it'll be personal stuff.
Well, if the only way is to submit it in paper and physical, then I don't see what the problem
Then
is with
maybe-
I don't
rebuilding
think
it.
so either. I mean, if you're gonna know who the people are, because if they're taxpayers,
Right.
we can get an awful lot of information
Right.
pretty easily. That way.
Right,
But it is critical that we keep everything private to them.
right.
Yeah, and that's.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
I think making it a fillable would be good, because
okay.
especially like if my husband were to fill out one of those applications, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, it is
That's a
what it
good point.
It's accurate, and he will admit to it.
Under our OGS contracts we had for local governments to buy from the state, we had a fillable format. We're the only ones in the state that did that. And the state used to call me up all the time. Could you do this for me? And
Yeah. Show me
they
how
were
to
all
do this.
Excel programs that I put together for many years. I said, well, I said, it wasn't easy to put that together, but the reason we did it was too many people made mistakes by adding up numbers. you
Yeah.
know? So the contractors would come in, you get a purchase order from a town, deliver the machine, and wait a minute, there's a $400 difference in price. Why is that? Well, the salesman didn't fill it out correctly. So,
Just for a little history, the last loader we had before we got the new one, he's the salesman for that loader.
well,
How did you know that,
it was the company that I was.
Right, the company working for,
Monroe
yeah.
Tractor.
Oh,
SES
I didn't know
was
that.
a relative of theirs that I was with for 25 years as vice president, became their general manager of Monroe when they bought us out. So
oh, I did not know that. Okay.
So
All
do we move for the 4%? Or for
4.5, I need a motion.
Roy motioned.
Okay, a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great. Thank you,
All
Chuck,
right,
for
thank you.
coming
Chuck, thank
tonight.
you.
I appreciate it. Appreciate all your work.
Well, we look forward to getting it off the ground. Hopefully getting some good results.
Yeah.
Does county still have that program where they were kind of training people on how to maintain their properties?
I don't know.
I didn't even know there was a problem. I could ask about that.
They had that here, well, time goes fast, but.
I hear you.
Oh, boy, I think I know what you're talking about, where they would help them get their, like, some got new single wide trailers and
Some got
stuff,
new.
and they had to go through classes on how to budget their money, how to do it. I don't
Oh,
know if
really?
they
How to
still
main-
have
How to
that.
maintain the yards
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
Some things.
because a few people in
Because they had a
town got
program
it.
too that was grant money for septic systems even then, for people, especially the mobile homes,
Yeah.
that they could come in and have it put in the county, got it funded through the grant money that they
I'll
had
have
at the
to
time.
ask that.
We have first-time home buyers,
But they had to
loans like
pay,
that, and you have to,
they would
classes.
own it totally if they
Yeah.
stayed in the property 10 years. That was
Oh,
the
I
deal.
see.
Right.
Yeah, you had
Yeah.
to stay in the property 10 years, but then it was a loan.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so.
Yeah, I didn't know. I remember that. I don't
Yeah.
know if they still do that. I could ask somebody on that. Just a real quick note, I got a phone call today from somebody in South of Berlin. And I don't know if you know, I'm gonna say their last name wrong. I think they work with Dave Wells at the church, Laura, God, I can see their faces. I can't remember. Emerson? Is it Emmerich?
Yeah.
She's got two people that are grant writers that want to help us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's gonna text me the number of one.
Wow.
If that person's not familiar with what we want, then the other person may be able to help us, and they're willing to help.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
so it is so weird that,
Because that's half the battle.
yeah,
Really.
they're
you know,
done.
They'll know.
So that
That's
would
right.
be awesome, and she's gonna contact, and I said it'll be after the first of the year before I can get back to her, but so I'll let you know, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right, thanks.
meeting you. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay, I need a motion do I need another motion for reports? I do, right?
Yep.
I need a motion to accept the,
I'll move it.
John, second. April. Okay, John, you got anything else on highway?
No.
I got one thing,
Okay.
and this is just from hearsay, so I
Okay.
didn't know, I didn't want to say it to Brandon because I don't know if it's really necessary or if you think it is. Dan used to do those daily reports. Remember, we used to get every day, there
Yep.
was something,
Yep.
the weather, the temperature and stuff.
Yep.
And I was talking to somebody about them, and they said they're very valuable, Wendy. If there's an accident on your road, you have documentation of that. They went out and checked the roads, the temperature was this, it snowed, it did rain. And is that why we used to do it?
I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not sure why Dane did it. Just that
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
report like him on.
Because, and I'm wondering if we
It did.
should,
Always did it, but it probably started.
because
that
someone goes,
video.
you really should put that, what was on that day. So if we ever had a bad accident, did they go check the road? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like we plowed roads today, like Dan just kept it short and sweet,
Right, no.
but I didn't know, and somebody said something to me about that, and I said, oh, we don't do that. And we used to, but we don't do that. And I'm
Well-
like, you should do it for document, and I didn't know, that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Well,
I think it'd be good, it'd be a good trail, like you said, for one reason or
Yeah,
another. Either-
right,
see,
just,
Either we know what's happening or if something does happen, we know the road was worked on.
That's the same thing I've asked him to document when he's taking these new guys out.
so we know how many
All
hours,
those hours, how many hours.
Yeah. You should
so
have
he's keeping
any
a book
training.
of that.
Any training, they put it down.
Just like we do with.
So is he
Yeah.
writing how many
Yeah,
hours?
absolutely.
Okay,
They
okay.
told him every-
So I
write
didn't
down the
know
hours,
that.
log the hours, and
Okay,
who was the trainee, whether it was Justin or him.
okay. Or Jason, well, Jason's good too.
I
Okay, so is that something we need a motion, or do you want to just talk to him about it?
can talk
Just-
about it.
yeah, I was gonna say, can you just talk-
Okay. I didn't know, and I'm like, gosh, we used to do that, but
I
we,
probably got an old one I can show, so he knows what they are.
right, and
I'm sure he does.
and I said, we used to keep the temperature.
He
what
asked,
the
he
weather-
asked him one time, we said.
I
"Doesn't
remember when
matter.
we first
It's up to
started,
you.
but
What
then
you
there
do.
must have been
Well,
a reason for it, and I didn't know.
See, I think the daily temperature and all of that, isn't anyone going out to actually check? That is something you get
Well, I can't
historically.
remember, wasn't it?
That is what he put,
used
that
to
it was
put
either
the weather
foggy or this.
conditions, yeah.
But you can go on weather.com to get that, and what somebody types isn't,
Well, I just didn't know
that's not a
if we
legal
should.
document,
I
but
didn't
what
know
he
if we
does
should
each
do it.
day.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just wanted to bring it up because they said, yeah, you should really have that accountability of what
Yeah.
they're doing.
What they,
He was
what they do.
What the weather
A lot of
was.
times- A lot of times, even on the weekend, I think you'd see Dan write in something like went out and checked the roads.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he didn't
You know,
put the
and then
temperature,
Raleigh-
I don't know
Raleigh
what he
goes
put
check.
in, I can't
I
remember
don't
what he
think he
put
temperature,
in.
but
I can't
he told us
remember.
what he did.
Yeah, like we went and plowed
Sanded-
roads today or so,
Salt and sand
yeah,
roads and
yeah. So
whatever.
maybe we should implement that again, just to cover, and that way, if someone complains about it, hey, we sanded it, we, you know, or we cleaned the ditches that day, you know, we can have documentation. I didn't know, so I wanted to bring it up. I didn't want to scare Brandon with more. Okay. All right,
Can I ask you a question?
yes,
Why you got two glasses on your head?
because one is for seeing back there,
Oh, really, that? Oh,
and one is for seeing right here.
They don't make glasses for,
They make bifocals, I
Oh.
just bought them, but they make me crazy,
really?
and I'm not used to them yet, and I had to buy them, and so it's easier for me
Oh, I
to
just
have
wondered.
two. I can't see to drive at night, so I have to have two.
That's
So-
fine.
When you get trifocals,
There's such a thing as trifocals?
Yes.
I got them. You're all blur. So-
So that's why I do have a
Okay,
pair of
I
bifocals,
thought
but I
maybe-
can't stand,
Maybe
they
you
make
forgot those
my,
were up there or something like that.
they make me crazy.
Random thoughts.
You should just get one of each and a monocle.
Anything for building and grounds.
No.
Usually I have sunglasses up there too. Sarah, you,
Yeah, what about it?
I started to talk to you about this earlier, but then we got you doing vouchers, so I stopped talking. And John, you may know this question. I want to meet with Sarah for more revenue for the campground. Somebody told me they charge for more people being on the campsite. Like, usually there should be, like they said at this campground, that they allow 4, and if there's children 16 or over, they charge another $2.95.
I have seen that. We have been there for, yeah, the different campgrounds, they do charge. You can't have like 20 people at your campground for,
Right. That-
Charge, like the one we did was $5 per night per person.
And how many, when you booked the site, how many could you have on it? 4?
Whatever your family was, so.
like your immediate, like your
Whatever
spouse
lived in
and then
your
your
house.
children directly, but like aunts, uncles, grandchildren.
Because
they
I
all
was thinking
charge
if
for
we,
that.
like,
Yeah.
Connie told me we allow 8 people on one site. I'm thinking maybe we should do a family of 4 and then charge anything 16 over, and then like if it's under 5.
Even for a family? What that family did, you
Well, I didn't know, I'm just bringing
The
it up
only
for
time we
revenue.
ever did it different, we had the max of 8, and we had a family of like oh my goodness, they had like 14 people in their family. There were a lot of kids. So we did have
Because we
them
need to
do
know.
side-by-side sites.
Yeah.
Because that was too many for one. If somebody,
Well, the maximum right now is 8, so they couldn't have done it on one, even if they have 20 in their family, they couldn't have done it. They
right,
have
that's why
to.
we did
Right.
that's why we did the two
So
side by
I
side.
mean, I think we need to talk about that in committee and come up with some other ideas, but we haven't had time to meet. But I just wanted you guys to think about that, because other campsites do it. And I don't think anybody would shun us.
I know we had paid for
After-
our grandchildren. that
After
did
I
on the
heard the
weekend.
prices of what places are charging, it made me physically sick that we're very low.
Yeah, you're very low.
We're very low, which is a good thing, but, because we're getting people to use it, but, you know, still, we want to try to get it to self-sustain itself, you know, so I just wanted to bring that up.
You still gotta pay the bills.
Yeah,
There you go.
okay, April police again,
Yeah, nothing was sort of,
okay. Ambulance, I didn't even get a report yet this month, that it comes in late, so I don't even know who's doing it.
You didn't get an ambulance report?
no,
I
they
didn't
weren't.
get one, usually,
That's you're getting old stuff in your box. I think.
Yeah, I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't get, they
Was
usually
that-
email it to me.
That was
It's through
last,
October.
yeah, so that would have
This
been
is
through
December,
October's for
honey.
the
I
meeting.
know, but
Yeah,
I
'cause we
mean,
didn't
geez,
have
every
one.
time you get to the village.
Because they
meeting,
got it to
don't
us
have
after the meeting, so I put it in everybody's box after.
yeah, I thought we didn't get one.
Can you remind to police, or buildings and grounds, are all of the cameras that we scheduled up and running?
Not yet.
Just some of them?
I think we only have 2 that are up right now. Maybe 3, but only 2.
Of them.
Well, first of all, I will tell you, we've had a lot of complaints about how old the building is and all the crawl spaces that they've been going through to get the wiring. And the next problem is our server,
We knew that.
the internet. So
Understood
Dave is
that.
diligent, he did a conference call with Spectrum. He's talked to Frontier. And our Frontier bill is outrageous.
Yep.
So they're trying to figure out, he got all the Frontier is trying to work with them. I guess, I'm not gonna even say the verbiage right, because I don't understand the computer lines and stuff. But they're trying to get us to stay with Frontier, and they'll give us more boosting power or something. Don't even ask me.
Because what was he saying was in the area, but we didn't know if we can get it in our building. What was that?
Whatever's
Fiber.
that, it is.
Fiber. That's
And
what he was looking to
I think that
see.
they can give it to us.
Frontier or Spectrum?
Frontier. So,
Better off with Frontier than the fire department does.
so I don't, yeah, so I don't know. He's still in negotiation, but before we can get all the others, like he hasn't even got to the village to our outside destinations. We gotta get the new, stuff to run it, the power, cause, you know, that's what he's working on. But we have
enough
2, I
juice
think-
going to our system.
Yeah, I think we have 2 that are up, but they're not
Right.
actually, the server's not in yet, and, you know. So they're just testing 2 to see, they're not at the right angles, they're not.
Right.
So that's where we're at. So, and he hasn't got to the village or any of it, like the highway we're getting, the parks, you know, none of that's
Right.
been done yet. Okay, financial reports, I need a motion to accept the financial. John, I need a second.
Well, John and April already
Yeah.
did.
Oh, did I already do?
Yep.
Sorry. Sorry, I didn't write that down. So sorry. All right, abstract of vouchers. It is resolution number 64, am I correct?
Sure, that's what we'll go with.
It's right in with the financial statements. I put it there instead of in with the other ones.
You got it. I didn't get it done. I have one for you. You didn't get anything on new business because I didn't have time to type anything.
So up to resolution 63 was last meeting then, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is resolution 64 for the abstract of the vouchers. And I guess the general, where's the total? I don't have a total on.
1591.34.
No, total's not right. Any
No,
change?
it's not because there was,
$40 or something?
No, that's DB.
oh, okay.
Well, I was thinking overall total.
Okay.
Okay. I do have one small issue, and is it also DB? Yes.
Okay.
But we'll get to DB.
Can I ask a question? Because I think I'm just brain dead right now. When we write the general fund in, are we just doing the unpaid or do we add the prepaid and
No, just the
Just the
unpaid.
unpaid.
Just the unpaid, okay, I don't know why I just had a brain fart on that. Okay, so John's right, is there any changes with that, the 159134?
No.
Okay, TOV, the 1205. $1,205. DA, I'm out of order, sorry. I don't have a DA.
DA is first. Yeah, it's $13,005.02.
502. And is DB the one you guys have a question?
Yeah.
So DB, we have to add $40. Last month, an invoice was short paid by 40. And so I put it in the folder if anyone wanted to look at it.
What's the company name?
Barrett.
Barrett.
And what is it for? Barrett Company.
Baby?
What was it, baby?
You just had 40, you said?
Road improvement, I know, so we have to add 40, so before her question, it's 2,599.09.
Cold patch.
Cold patch.
Chips.
Okay, so DB is 25, do we have to sign
I
that?
got another thing for DB.
Oh, is it gonna change that amount?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, I just wrote it.
Okay, one of these gillies, there's a credit memo.
Oh, yeah, I had a sticker I thought on that, I didn't
I
understand
don't
it.
see a sticker.
Well, maybe I
Okay.
didn't do it, but I remember seeing the credit and I didn't understand it.
So the credit memo is in here, but it's not accounted for in the total. So there's 2 invoices plus a credit. And they've got 5122 as the total for the voucher. It should be 15 and something. 1345 plus 3777 minus 3598. It's 1524 instead of the 5122.
So we're gonna change the amount.
Do they have a statement with that?
Yeah.
Is the credit on the statement?
Credit's on the statement.
Okay.
yeah.
So.
So yeah, you'd have to change the amount for that voucher from 5122 to 1524.
Because my total for Gillis is 6071.
Because
so-
there's two,
Yeah.
there's 2 different ones on
There's
there,
one
just
for
the one.
949 and then there's one
Top
for
line.
51.
Oh, the 5122 is
Yeah.
getting changed to how much? 1524. 1524. So the total for Gillies will be,
2473.
okay, so now we gotta add the total.
How much was the credit?
Credit was 3598.
So it's 256311.
Sure.
What's the credit for highway and nothing else?
Yes. Oh my goodness, if my fingers could type.
Is that included the 40?
I'll read it in a minute. I believe what you tell
What
me.
did you say the total was, Deb?
2563.11.
Yep, that's what I got too. Thank you.
Okay. South Berlin lighting, is that zero? Nothing?
Please.
There was no bills for lighting?
And FX is 4,705.46, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Introduced by?
I will. Second,
I'll second.
Parks,
Yes.
Reifenberg,
yes.
Stockwell,
Yes.
Wales, right?
Yes.
Christian.
Yes.
I already have yours.
You're not allowed to say no, April.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's okay.
It's not good.
Okay. The balance sheet, everybody see that? Any questions? Okay, the profit and loss. And the CDLF, Roy did take the stuff down to the bank. I signed it, and I have the copies that I gotta give Deb and Joan. So we should,
I'll have to stop by and send it to you.
you have to go back and sign it too. Okay. But he got it
Well, I
all
gotta
right.
have you say stuff with me.
Oh, yeah, there was a bunch of
Yeah, I didn't know.
others.
Yeah, it was a two-parter.
Okay,
It's hidden in the back.
so now we're going to old business.
Okay.
Is everybody ready? Yep.
Yeah.
The first thing is the procurement policy. So we were looking at the procurement policy months ago and it got tabled quite a few times. The highway superintendent only had 1,000 in her first one.
Yeah, we discussed. going
So
to
we
five,
upped it
right?
to 5
And 10 with John's signature.
and 10 with John's approval. And then the water commissioner is up to 1,000 with 5,000 with your permission.
Okay,
Okay, anything
10
between,
heat. I'm thinking of the chemical orders, maybe that should be 2 instead of 1. For him to order.
I'm wondering if they're all, if it's too low for the highway too. But you don't think so? You think that's okay? Okay,
Anything 10 would be pretty good. Yeah.
okay,
I don't
it's
see-
5. He's gotta call you
5,
for
yeah, but I
10.
mean, yeah.
Okay. All right, so do you want to change the water superintendent to 2? What is the average? It's 12 something, I think, the chemical bills usually, aren't they 1,200? So do you want to change it to
Yeah,
15
well, I'm thinking, if he has to order
chemicals
chemicals or
without calling you?
chemicals would be the normal thing, but
Would be the
maybe
everyday
a
thing.
pump or something. I would think 2.
Change it to 2?
I can't.
That's
believe
for
they-
water? That's for water,
Yeah, I would think so.
okay. So we're gonna have, sorry. you want to
And
take
highway,
that?
we decided was 5.
It says so. I didn't print it. Do you guys want a copy of this?
No, it's okay.
Because she's gonna have to print it again.
Yeah.
So it says, under 2, for purchases, the department heads get 200. Brian are encouraged to do whatever practice secure competitive pricing, multiple sources, quotations. Exception, the highway superintendent has purchase authority of 5,000 prior to commissioner's approval. The water superintendent has purchase authority up to 2,000 now prior to commissioner's approval.
Okay.
Between 200 and 999, the commissioner departments must approve the purchase prior to the issuing of the purchase order. So that's any other. So if like David goes over 1,000, he's got to ask you.
Over 200.
Over
Over
200.
200, I mean.
Okay.
Okay.
Say 1,000.
I didn't say the first one. Okay, and then to get a bid, it used to say 10,000, but according to the comptroller, we only have to get bids 20,000 and over. But we put in here from 1,000 to 1999 to try to get 3 estimates if you can. If you can't, you can't, but try to get 3. And then 20 over, we need to do a formal bid or do it by state.
Yep.
Okay, so I think that was all the changes, wasn't it, Sarah? That's all you had
But up to
highlighted.
19,999, there's nothing in the books that say it's mandatory to get 3? I mean, I can't imagine something that you're buying for 19,000.
The only
You
thing
wouldn't
that
find
it-
3 companies.
Let me tell you, the only thing that's mandatory with comptroller is the 20,000 bid.
I mean, we
Like,
can-
that's what it
Right.
really is. The procurement policy is make sure you're getting bids on
Bids,
20,000.
yeah.
I think it would be good practice to try to do it in.
Yes,
Try to
yeah.
get the best.
I mean, I
Yeah,
try to
right.
get 3 bids when we buy stuff, but sometimes they don't
Yeah.
have the
Just don't
supplier
have it,
for it,
right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like right now, we want to get a couple extra meters. No other meter company but one sells the brand we're using right now. So we can't get any, you know? So, do we want to pass this because it's been tabled for so long?
We gotta get it done.
So,
I want it done before January 1st. We could table it to the end of the year meeting if we want.
and then we can give copies for everybody to, right, because then you can correct it. How's that?
Okay.
Okay, so it'll be,
January.
okay, that's the
Or
old
the end of the
business.
year.
Well, we-
Sarah, are you typing this on Wendy's computer?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because
Can you send me a copy via Word so that I have that in the file for any adjustments that have to be made from that point forward? Because if I scan, it's automatically PDF and I gotta,
Yeah, mess with it.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Because it's not in mine, it's under yours. Like, I had to find this under your name.
and she thought I had it, but I didn't type it,
I didn't
so.
know I had an
I-
account with your name on it, and I looked, and that's why I
No, there's
found
an account with your name on it, and I have a
folder
folder on
with-
your
Yeah,
desktop.
that's how I found it. I went to Sarah, because I didn't know. I'm like, I don't have this thing, then I found it.
Yes, absolutely, I can send that to you.
Thank you.
I'm
So we're
learning.
just changing the water cap to 2,000.
That's it,
That's
Okay.
and then you can print them out, and then you can put them in everybody's box to review, okay?
All right, sending a copy to Deb, and then we're approving at the end of the year meeting.
Okay. The next thing, like I said, I didn't have time to send anything to Deb. Brian Banks give you a day when he's coming to do the counter?
I didn't
Yeah.
even think about it.
He said he messaged me last week and said, just falling behind with the weather and
Okay.
plowing.
Oh, that's right, he does that too, I
Yep.
forgot.
And that he
Okay.
hasn't forgotten about it, but that he
Okay.
would.
Just make sure that $100 comes off that counter
Yep.
adjustment, because we overpaid, okay. All right, new business, I gotta go to my notes, and I apologize.
Unacceptable.
Well, you're gonna have to fire me.
You're out.
Okay, see ya. Here's my notes. I go home and drink some hot cocoa by my tree. Okay, the first thing is everybody good with November 30th for the end of the year meeting? It's a Monday.
November?
December.
Or December. I wrote November too.
Oh my.
December.
December 30th?
Yeah, it's a Monday night.
That's a Monday, no, like Monday up there, but maybe I'm looking wrong.
It is.
It's a Sunday on,
That's
John, it's a
2025.
Sunday on November.
25. Hey, you're tricking me here. All right.
Oh, that's 25 already?
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at that.
It is a Monday.
All right, so,
It's a Monday.
what time?
I'm thinking regular, 6 PM.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna do that. So Deb, you have to put an ad in. 6 PM, right? We gotta advertise that, correct? Okay. Under your
Public
meeting.
meeting.
Okay. Next,
This is just for end of year financials.
yep, to close the books out, get the $5 in all the accounts, move the money.
And approve.
And the
No,
procurement
And,
policy.
and to approve the new purchase policy.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just write
If
myself.
we approve that now, wouldn't you just have to publish it?
I don't know.
All we would need to do is print it. She would make the changes, send it to me, and then we
Well,
print it.
Yeah, what if we could just do
Okay,
that?
okay. All right, so I need a motion for
I'll make a
the,
motion, we approve it.
Roy, second,
I second it.
April, all in favor?
I,
Aye, Sarah, you gonna change that?
yeah.
And print them, put them in everybody's mailbox.
No, if you can send them to me, I'd like to do a beginning of year packet for each employee. That's gonna have the ethics, the code of ethics. I'm gonna have a new signature page for everybody to sign all the policies that they've received them, because we have some new employees and we have several that never signed, and I wanna do a new round of retirement so that we have good, fresh, clear copies in everybody's file that they either want it or have it,
And we
or
got-
don't want it.
We got the harassment again.
And sexual harassment, we all have to do again, and every department will have to do again and sign it.
Who moved in second?
Roy and
Roy and April.
So if you can just do whatever changes you're doing, and then if you want to send them send it to me via Word, and then I'll print it and put them all in the January packet.
Yeah, that way it's got some time to get it out there
Yep.
by the first of the year.
Right.
Everybody's
And so when you have a meeting with Brandon over the calendar thing, talk to him about, because just tell him, text me, call me, because you gotta approve it if it's over that amount, over 5.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay. Where was I? Okay, I did that. I did the meeting. Okay, December 30th, 6 p.m. All right. Me and Roy have been working with Matt because, as you all know, we have to appropriate all the ARPA funds. So Matt, we are down, I think he said, do we have 1 meter left? Is that it on the shelf?
I think that's what he said.
So he wants to buy 6 new meters. The guy, I don't know if you got an email today from this guy, because we couldn't get a hold of the manufacturer. It's, oh my God, what did he, Meteorologics or something.
Meteorology?
Yeah, Meteorology is the company. So he just told them they have them in stock, the 6 new meters, but he didn't know the price. So I want to make a motion not to exceed 3,000 for the 6 meters to get them bought so he can order them tomorrow. They were, because he doesn't know how much the heads are. The meters are about $100 and some each. And then the heads, because they have to have those new heads. I was like, do they come with the heads? We got to buy the heads separate. So I'm thinking I said, is 3,000 enough to get 6 on the shelf? And we will take the money out of ARPA fund to pay for that. All right. So I need a motion to order so he can order 6 new meters.
I make a motion.
April, and his second.
Second.
Roy.
Whoever.
Okay, that's for 6 meters to have in stock.
How much can they spend after tonight's approval? He's 2,000 and Roy's how much?
5.
5.
Just saying, you don't even have to motion, he can just tell him the button.
Well,
Here.
I wanted to bring it up because it's gonna be ARPA funds. Okay, the next, let me do this pile. I got a lot of piles down here. The next, is, we've been telling him to get us all kinds of pricing on stuff that we need. So I have 2 estimates. Oh, I had a lot of estimates. And one came in at 18,000, one came in at 20,000. This is for all different kinds of parts and stuff. He needed the, it's extra, what do you call those you hook up for fire? Hydrants. We're getting an
The
extra.
wrench for the hydrants.
The wrench for the hydrants, a hook to get the manholes off. I mean, a lot of extra parts, but we got 2 bids from Ferguson and from EJP. Me and Matt, or Roy and Matt, have to go to see which ones were cheaper. One was 8,000 or 18,000, and some places don't have what we need, some places have, but what they do have and similar, to see what one was cheaper. So Matt's gonna get some of this stuff ordered. And these were the 2 companies that he found the stuff that he could get. But like some of it's duplicate on some of these, and some of it this company didn't have and that company had. Am I making sense? All right, well, you're looking like you're confused today.
No, you're doing fine.
So he, like 3/4 wall curb quick. I'm not gonna read you all this stuff because it's just so much stuff. And this is to enhance our water system, to have the extra parts if something breaks. He just told me about another thing that's not on here he wants to add is down by that bridge, which they're gonna be working on. We have a 6-inch pipe down there. We don't have any Band-Aids, so if the pipe breaks down there, we gotta get some 6-inch Band-Aids. So I would like him and Roy to decide what they're gonna get it ordered. And I would say these came in, and whatever else he has to add, because these are the 2 companies, I said a motion to spend up to 25,000. I have to allocate 95,000 left of ARPA money
Before the end of the year.
before December 31st.
Oh, boy.
So I would like Roy and him or me and him and whoever, all three of us get
Well, we'll
together
get-
so we
we'll
can
get
get this
together.
order in as soon as possible of what, these are all things he says we need to keep, the upgrades and because we've had nothing. We've had no extra parts, no nothing. And the other estimate he didn't get, we want to put shelving in and stuff like that. So that'll take up some more of the ARPA money. So tonight I want to make a motion to spend up to $25,000, what Matt feels that we need to get immediately. Okay, with these estimates that he's getting.
How do you
Like I
want to
said-
word that since your procurement says over 20 needs a sealed bin?
Okay, well, that's what I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna, this one came 2,293.64, but he might be getting some from this, he might be getting some from this, so I guess we could say 20,
Yeah.
go up to 20.
Well, we'll have- yeah, we'll
Because
have
I
to
don't know
go
which
because-
ones are cheaper, because this one's 1880, I don't know what this one has that this one doesn't have. Matt's, I don't know what half of this stuff is on here.
Well,
That's
if you wanted to do 25 total, you could say up to,
I'll do up to 20 and then he can authorize it to 5 anyhow.
Yeah, because like,
Yeah.
the meters are coming from a different company, not coming from this company. So, and like the shelving stuff is gonna probably come from Curtis because he did price the shelf, which might be in part of this, I don't know, it was $4,000. He goes, I said, Matt, we're not spending $4,000 on shelving. And maybe he took it out of this one. And he goes, we can go buy wood and Curtis will give an estimate on how to get the shelving so he can have all his parts in order, okay?
So do up
but
to
we-
20 and then he can just approve the other 5.
up to
Okay,
20 for all of it or up to 20 per vendor? Is there separate orders?
You would take it from separate.
I would say 20 for these things he needs. Let's go 20 for these things he needs. Because if it's the Curtis for the shelves,
Can I just ask a question about the bridge where you're talking about your Band-Aids and stuff? The state was already worried about ruining the foundation on that house next to where they're gonna be driving those pylons in. Has anybody thought about the water line that's going under the river right there?
I am very concerned about it. I don't know what would happen.
Because the state was talking about buying that red house on the corner by the bridge because of driving the pylons in the ground and ruining the foundation on
Right.
that house.
I mean, they had to mark all I think the state would have to be liable for that.
That's what I'm wondering, if that's gonna be detrimental to your water supply for everything.
That goes that way, yeah.
Everything goes that way.
Well, that's where our water comes down through there.
Well, that's your
That
main-
feeds our water everywhere.
That's the main up to the tower, so, and.
And they know it's there.
Maybe you should talk to the engineer that's, how does that?
The
make sure-
DOT.
They got an office down there now, yeah.
That's Adams, no, that's,
Who is
Doesn't
it?
That is Adam. That's
Adam
right. It is.
Tmilowitz.
You're right, it is, yes.
What,
I just
let me just
see
write
that
this
they
down.
were worried about ruining the house.
What's
foundation.
his name?
And that
Right
line
Adam.
is right
Right
there
there.
where they're driving the pylons.
Really?
Because the main goes right under the river, right next to the bridge.
I know it
right
does.
Underground right there.
If that,
Because I just heard you talking about Band-Aids for stuff up that area.
Right,
That's
yeah.
gonna be a big Band-Aid.
That'd be a hell of a.
I don't even know what size pipe is under that river. I don't know if we know.
Before, when they redid it, I think it started out either as a 4-inch or a 6-inch. I think they went to an 8-inch main when they put the new stuff in.
I think so too.
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was maintenance when we were talking about that, but it was a long time ago.
And I was surprised
I'm
they
really
didn't change
there.
the
Talk to Adam,
arms,
he'll
run it with the
He's from around
bridge
here, so.
above
Okay.
ground.
Okay.
They just hooked into it, and kept it under the.
And where is their office?
Right down there where Frankie had his place there.
Right
Oh, it's on
corner.
the corner building there?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not in the old school like the
No,
last project they did? Okay, okay.
His
Oh,
numbers, I think his number's on that
on our letter,
the
look,
letter we got.
I have a copy of it. I forgot, I lost my train of thought. Where are we?
We need to motion that up to 20.
Okay, so I need a motion.
I'll move
And then we'll transfer the money into the ARPA funds,
Yeah.
from the ARPA funds. Okay, so John, this is for 20 for the extra things that he needs to enhance the water. And I need a second. A second, April. Okay, all in favor? Okay. All right, so that's that one. Okay. I'm not gonna do it right now, because I'm gonna work with Joan on it. The rest of the money, I'm gonna make a resolution at the December 30th to transfer the money into the water fund. And we're gonna allocate it for enhancement they say every 10 years you need new meters. I mean, ours haven't worked, so now that we got the new heads, they're gonna work. But we have 3 estimates for new meters. We still have not, we looked into it last year for a new heating system, get estimates. And we're gonna leave it vague that we're gonna move this water for enhancement of the water district and move the rest for heat, meters, parts. There's something that needs to be done that Matt told me at the tank to preserve the tank. He's gonna get an estimate on that, but we're gonna all put it in so that we have it at least spent and appropriated, allocate. And I'm sure if we call, email the federal government and say, listen, we decided not to do this because this was more urgent and it came in at a different rate, we couldn't do that, all the project. So that's what our plans are, to do that. We also we did talk about, and we haven't done it yet, is the clean water up at Millbrook, the 2 pumps they have on the shelf, the extra pumps. We're gonna get that for ARPA too.
Is that also gonna be at the end of your meeting?
Yeah, we can add that with, we passed that a long time ago. It didn't get passed because of our credit card. We didn't have enough credit on our credit card to buy
Are
it.
we doing one?
We're doing 2.
We were buying 2 back then?
We were buying 2, but we didn't have enough on the credit card. So if you have to use my credit card to buy it, because it would be $1,400.
Right.
So I'll just give you the card. Because I think, does mine have 5? Because we didn't have enough credit limit. We can't buy it through one of these dealers. They didn't have it.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I think that was already passed. Check the minutes. If not.
It was passed. I'm just talking about that's gonna be the resolution to move that money for ARPA.
Yes.
I don't think we did it as far as ARPA.
No,
We
I
just
haven't done it
approved.
yet because
Yeah.
now I'm going to bring up my next thing. I'm not there yet, so I'm not going to bring that up because I don't know how much money we're going to have left in ARPA. That's why I need Roy and us and Matt to sit down and get this ordered so we can have those invoices. We know what we're going to have to pay. That'll come out of ARPA. Then we'll know how much money actually we have left. Okay, for ARPA. So I might as well continue with water while I'm doing this and I'll go back to that. So I went with Matt and we looked through all the bills from 2024. I didn't do 23, I did 24. All of these receipts we can use for ARPA. And I made a resolution and it comes to about 8,000 and some dollars, which you see in the resolution. This is all because we're over budget about 8,000 and some in our water. And these are all things that were extra parts and stuff that we can use with ARPA funds. So Matt looked at them, I got copies of them. So when we file the ARPA funds,
Excellent.
this will
I thought
all
we did
be,
23 also.
huh?
I thought we did 23 and 24.
I only did, what Joan printed out with me that I went over, Matt, was the 24s.
Oh, okay.
And that was the box you gave me was 24s. I tried to go back to 23, but I haven't had time. If I have to, I will. There was 2 of them, there was 2 that I didn't, and then I found another one tonight that I can put in, so there's another 38 down. I mean, we went through these.
Good.
So this is all that's gotta be filed in ARPA, okay? Perfect. So, all right. All right, let me move on to the rest of the new business and then we'll go to the resolutions. I got I told you, we're looking at new lawyers because we've been recommended to get a firm. This is from, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Coughlin and Gerhardt. This is the one out of Binghamton. This is a copy. My information for the one with Harris is old because it's a different firm now. One of the supervisors at county really recommends that firm. They're gonna send me his information. Hopefully I'll have it by December 30th. And then I had another one out of Albany that someone was supposed to give me the contact and I still haven't got it yet. So hopefully I'll have 2 more. He is $2.95 per hour for the partners that work at the company, $2.70 per hour for special counsel, $2.40 per hour for associates, and $1.70 for paralegals. So this, he sent us a contract with it. I'll make copies of it. But like I said, I've been really urged to, instead of having a single lawyer, to get a firm because we have so many departments and there's more lawyers here. And I think we left the budget, I can't even remember, only at 5,000. I can tell you, and I didn't bring my little book, I've kept track of how many times I've contacted the lawyer. And it was maybe, I don't think it was over 10 times. And sometimes he never even contacted me back. John, I don't know what your tally is. You were supposed to keep track. How many times do you think throughout the year?
I'd say no more than 10 as well.
Yeah. So we got to think about this. If we can't decide, I think at the organization meeting, we'll table until we can figure out if we want to switch to a firm or if we want to keep our old lawyer. Okay. So, but these is the prices. And I think, what's his name, was that price last year, $2.95, I think it was an hour, Harris.
Yeah.
This has been recommended to me. A few towns and county uses this lawyer, and the other one, a few towns use the other lawyer also.
Good.
So, and the Albany one, I haven't even got the name. I can't tell you. So I'm hoping I'll have more information on this. I mean, how do you guys feel about this?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd probably be about 6,000 if we were both under 10. But I know also the assessor has, because I think they usually, I don't know, it depends on how they do it, whether they charge you
The
Every
other
time
guy
you
was like
contact-
15, like he
15
grabbed it in
minutes, half
15
hour,
minutes. Yeah, like we
an
emailed
hour.
them, it took them, they send it, and they send us a bill monthly. We get a monthly statement. If we don't use them, there's no bill. So,
Like,
so I don't know. I just think that,
I think you're getting,
more for the money.
you're getting more people, more options for us that instead of what we have currently.
Right.
And so getting a call back might be a little easier from a firm than
Yeah.
what we're getting now.
That's good. That's what we use.
Yeah, that's, these guys were recommended to me, so, I did ask him because I forgot to at the time, I called him, Becky thinks I'm probably crazy. I said, I forgot to tell you, we're doing the revolving loan fund, and you're gonna have to do these on the deeds and stuff, do all this, and he goes, if you decide to use it, we'll get a flat fee set up depending on the loan and how
Because
much
that'll
it's
come out of
for.
that.
They
section
pay,
of it.
they pay
Right.
the lawyer fee, but he goes, we'll set up something that it'll be a flat fee that we can have and they'll pay that. So, okay, so I've been working on that. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about is, Brandon, on the, holiday. I feel like it doesn't happen very often, and I don't really have the union contract, and I was gonna look at it, and I don't know if you have it on you, John.
no, I don't.
Like the guys, when they worked on Thanksgiving Day, which is very rare, and if they have to work on Christmas Day, our union guys get the regular time, 1.5 pay, and plus they get an extra 8 hours PTO. So it's almost 3.5 times their pay they get for leaving their family on a holiday.
So
Which-
3.5 or 2.5?
They get paid 2.5, but they get 8 hours of PTO time.
They get paid 2.5? Or
They
paid
get-
time and a half?
They get their regular time and a half,
So it'd be 2.5 total.
plus they get another 8 hours of PTO time,
Right,
which is regular time.
but it would be a total of 2.5 times.
It's the same as what Lisa gets. If Lisa works a
Right.
holiday,
Well, they get paid 2.5, but if you
no,
count
they
No.
get paid 1.5.
Paid 1.5.
They get paid time and a
then they get
half.
8 hours of
PTO, which,
Total is
2.5.
Yeah, go together, 2.5.
1
You
plus
get the days.
1.5 is 2.5.
Yeah, you get the day's pay for the holiday. You're getting a day's overtime for working the holiday. So it's 2.5.
I think I'm reading it different then, because I think the union contract says if they work that, they get 1.5 plus their regular pay.
No, they just get time and a half
Do you,
plus
do
they
you want to
bank
go get
8
the union
hours.
contract?
We can, I mean, if you want to, yeah.
This is only for 2 holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
It's not regular overtime.
No.
I think
it's
it's
the same
just,
thing Giovanni does. Patrick, if he works Thanksgiving, he
okay.
gets paid 8
I
hours
thought they
of holiday
got, I
time
thought they
plus his time
got
and
the
a half.
regular plus another 1.5.
Well, when you said that, I didn't.
You didn't understand. See, that's
No.
how I read it.
No, you get paid
I
a
would-
holiday,
I would think. it's
and then if you
1.5
work it, you get paid your
Okay.
overtime right on top of your holiday.
Okay. All right, however it is, Brandon gets nothing. He gets nothing extra, and he missed the holiday with his family. I would like to see him get 8 hours, like Lisa does. She gets, if she worked the holiday, he gets another 8 hours of PTO time. I mean, we can't he doesn't get overtime, but can we, like, I would like to see, I know we've never done it before, but moving forward,
Well,
can
they have the same emergency situations as the police do, and all you'd have to do is lump highway superintendent and full-time police in that same,
and that person, and
Yeah.
give him that.
in that same line.
So he would get a PTO. I mean, she gets overtime, so you can't lump it together because he's salary. She's not, she's an hourly wage.
Yeah, right.
So it'd have to
I think
be,
it'd be good to give.
I
I
think it's
do
the
too.
right
I
thing
mean,
to
if-
do. I
yeah.
mean, he had to leave his family too. And I can't believe, I mean, probably we never really had so many, like, we got a lot of snow in this last week. I mean, I don't know how many snowstorms we've had
And
on.
it's not.
And I
it's not
think in
a-
the union contract, we have to look at it, but I think it says just Christmas
Oh,
and
right, I know that,
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Does it say New Year's too?
I don't think so.
It's just Christmas, so it's only 2 holidays that he would, so if he has to leave his family, I think he deserves to get 8
Yeah.
hours of PTO.
I agree.
So,
It's fine with me.
all right.
I'm good.
Now, do you want to retro this for Thanksgiving or move forward and just start it now? It's up to you guys, but I need a motion either way.
I say retro it.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Motion to retro 8 hours of PTO for Brandon.
We're gonna be, if we're gonna be generous, don't chit on it.
Right, and moving
I'm
forward
gonna give you this, but not now.
No, that's right, that's right.
on Thanksgiving and on Christmas.
Is that all we have? So is that gonna be a whole other line? Because Lisa is not only Thanksgiving and Christmas,
Lisa is any holiday,
the 6 that we approved.
but the MEOs are only for 2.
Yeah, I think that'd be another section of the
Yeah, we'll have to put it in the personnel policy. But I think the MEOs, it's only listed on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Am I
But he's
correct?
not an MEO, he's the highway superintendent.
I know, but he gets nothing. He gets nothing.
So
And these are the main holidays that you're with your family, like President's Day, all those, I'm not worried about. I could care
No.
less about those. So, and he's usually off. They're off, but they all have to come in if they,
Where's it?
but that's a family day, like Thanksgiving and Christmas is a family
And it's
day.
during the winter time, it's when he's probably gonna be cold
Right.
because of the snow.
All I'm
Yeah.
saying is if you're putting emotion in and not factual. So we have one full-time employee that you're doing X number of holidays, then we have another full-time employee, you're only doing 2 holidays and you're making separate lines for separate employees.
Well, I think
It's different
that's, I think
departments.
it's different departments and I
And
think
one's
it's,
salary and one's not, right?
yeah, one's salary, one's hourly.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Your full-time is hourly.
And I mean, we only do
There.
the extra for the,
And this changes.
I
to
mean, we don't
reflect-
have to do it at all. I
Motion
kind of,
to retro.
I kind of felt bad about it
Time and a half
because,
plus.
you know, he did have,
There's gotta, to have some type of perks to be able to, if you are doing.
I mean, it's not a lot of perks.
It's not a lot.
and I
Well, and
mean,
you're just changing it to more closely match what
With
his
their-
subordinates get,
Right.
so
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
see a problem with that.
It is employee, yeah.
right, I mean, he won't get overtime ever because he's a salary employee.
Right.
I mean, they only get it if it snows. Sometimes it doesn't snow at all,
It's 2 days.
so, okay.
So he got paid straight time, so you're retroing time and a half, or are you retroing?
No, he's only gonna get 8 hours of PTO. It's no money, it's PTO.
Motion
He'll
to
get a
retro
day
8
of
hours PTO. And add him to time and a half plus 8 hours for Thanksgiving and Christmas?
No,
or-
there's no
No,
time and a
PTO.
half. It's
No.
just
So-
8 hours of PTO. If he works Thanksgiving Day, he's gonna get
8 hours of
extra
PTO.
8 hours of PTO. He can take a day off
Day.
and be with his family. No money.
To
We can't-
just
we can't because
hours.
it's salary, we can't.
Right, there's no.
To 8 hours PTO for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Okay.
And if he works on Thanksgiving or Christmas, he'll get 8 hours. He can take a day off,
'Cause
but it's
that's what-
convenient to go be with his family because he missed out with his
Right,
family.
So
It
currently,
worked.
he just, this past week or whatever, the past 2 weeks or whatever, he was
8
able to get
hours.
8 hours to bank for PTO.
PTO extra if worked.
Right,
Okay.
so he can take, an extra time, that's all.
Yep.
There's no money, it's just giving him a day off. to
Okay,
go be
I
with
just
his
wanted to write it
family.
correct. I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
I was misunderstanding.
So it's banking a holiday.
Yeah, he's banking a holiday,
Okay.
so, okay. I just think it's fair, I just think it's the right thing to do. I mean, it's not much, but it's better than nothing. Okay, that's done.
We have to motion that.
Oh, sorry, I need a motion.
I'm-
John, I need a second.
We already did that.
We did that once.
also- Go ahead.
That's fine, John and Sarah.
I don't have anyone that did that one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we did, but, oh, okay.
Okay.
Close enough.
All right, okay, next,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
This is just information, and I don't know if you want to do it. If we pay the, New York State retirement system by December 15th, if we prepay, we usually pay in February, we'll save about $500.
Do it.
But, okay,
But, oh, there was a but.
that means we're paying twice this year. So we're taking it out of our reserves to pay it,
It's $500 for.
but we
saving.
will save 500. It's like
I-
$499 something.
So just pay it early again next year and then it'll be back.
Well,
to
that's,
once
we
a
will be
year.
caught up. We'll be caught up and pay it. So a lot of, I didn't know about this, but supervisors asked me at county, do you pay your retirement early? I said, I have no idea. So I asked Joan, no, we don't. It's only that little bit of money, 500, but it will save the taxpayers. And-
$500 is $500 and
Exactly.
we've got to do the right thing.
Okay, so I need a motion that we pay the retirement system by December 15th. So we'll have to cut this.
Move.
This will have to be a prepay, everybody.
Yep,
So she'll cut the check tomorrow.
I move it.
Okay, Sarah,
A second.
April? Okay. All in favor? So I gotta leave a note for Joan for that. Okay, what's next? I think I'm done.
Thank
God.
goodness, motion to adjourn.
No, we gotta do the, resolutions. Okay. Resolution number 65. This is resolution 65, authorizing the town of Nabrone to amend the FX water line, FX 9730.8. Whereas the town of Nabrone has determined we have enough money in our FX money market account to pay a
Oh, sorry.
payment
Yeah.
on the principal to our old bond loan of FX 9730.8 for the amount of 10.8. Therefore, let it be resolved, the town of Berlin Board has decided to transfer 10.8 from our money market account to our FX old bond loan so that the principal payment of 10.8 can be paid on the loan. So it's introduced by me.
She got to be roll call anyways.
And I need a second if you want to do this.
I'll second it.
Does anybody want the explanation of this stuff?
I think
First.
I understand it.
Okay,
We're
April,
going down on the principal here.
okay. All right,
Introduced by Wendy, seconded by April.
April.
That was number 65.
Yep, number 65.
Okay, Parks.
Yes.
Reifenberg,
Yes,
Stockwell,
Yes.
Wales Wright,
Yes.
Christian.
Oh,
okay.
you had a choice that time.
All right, so, resolution 66. Now, this one gets a little trickier. We have 90-some thousand in our balance sheet for water in our money market account, which is allocated to that money, usually we keep our bond money in there from the old and the new bond, okay? And over the years, money has added up in there with interest. Some late fees have gone in there. and some re-levy fees have gone in there. I have tried to go back, and Joan went back today, and Debbie, we're working on it. And this is how I feel about it. We don't have to do this, but this is my feeling on it. We've got this money, which next year it's going to be better. When we have interest and late payments, the interest and late charges are going to go into interest and late charges. What we get for the re-levy fee is going to go in a line for re-levying. It's not going to be all mixed together. The water rents are going to go in the water rent, and the debt retirement is going to go in the debt retirement. We've accumulated $90,000 in our, we call it our debt retirement account, but it's our money market for water. We're always short in our checking account. We have to borrow from it to pay our bills for the water. Wherever the water is meant to be and not meant to be, one time Joan had to take $25,000 and put in there. And I go, Joan, I can't figure that. She goes, Wendy, let's stop and move forward. We know that it's all goes to the South New Berlin water, however we do it. We're paying an extra payment to the revolving loan, the old principal payment. We have enough money with 52. We're paying the 10.8. We have enough for 52 to pay all the bills this year. If we get no rent, we can still pay the loan payments. This was Joan's advice to me to take 25,705. We're not opening. I said, I don't want to open another bank account. She goes, we don't have to. We will take it and we'll leave it in the money market, but on our balance sheet, we'll allocate it for operating reserve for water. So if the bond fund needs money, we can put it in the bond fund. If the operation of the plant needs money, it's reserved for the plant. It's money that we maybe can get some grants, because most grants you have to have allocated money to, like, what's your matching funds. We don't have any reserves yet. And we still, if we do this and put this in just on our balance sheet as reserves, we still got to pay $2,000 back that we borrowed from last year. So it actually would only be $23,705 because we still owe the water. So that's my plan. We don't have to do it. We can leave it the way it is. It's been suggested that we pay 2 principal payments. I don't really want to do that because we always are short in the water because people don't pay the bills on time. And we always have to borrow, and I don't want to have to start dipping in the 52 to borrow. So I don't know how you all feel about this, and I think it should be a board decision. I mean, we're leaving it in, it's just going to stay on a line.
But before you make that decision, I've run the water and I know the money. Did Joan still
She tried
have
to
the
explain it
same?
to me today, but I'm telling you, I don't know. I'd have to see, you have to give me what we've actually collected. Because I've gone back to 2000. I have a stat here that I've printed out from QuickBooks. We have been so low on water, I don't really know even how we accumulated this money. It hasn't been put in right lines over years, I'm convinced.
No, it's been in the right lines, but I think so the only take that I have on this is the 2 separate accounts for anyone who doesn't understand them. The debt retirement are when people pay the $360 a year to pay the loans. Then there is the checking account when people pay the water rents. And some of the fees and stuff like that go into the checking account that pays the water rents. We have at least a third of our district that are not water users that make loan payments. All that money, that 90-some thousand, are people who paid $360 a year to pay the loans. So I don't even know that it's legal and or ethical to take money that people gave us to pay the loans.
But
And then buy
that loan money
chemicals.
is they only are supposed to pay $360, Deb. Any late fees, any re-levy fees.
And we went through all of those.
Even if they have done that, it's all usable money for the water.
Yes, so Joan and I took the last 2 years and we took all of because we started charging the $200 for re-levy.
I don't think you can do it on 2 years. I think you have to go back. When did we start paying
The 200?
No, that I would like to know. And then I would like to know when we started, when we started paying the $32.5, when did we get our first bill on that? And when did we first start charging? That's what I would like to know.
The 32.5, we would have
On the
started
new-
charging the year before, so in 2013, they would have started charging because we had to pay our first 32.5 payment in 2014. So you already need, and that's due by January 12th, so we would have needed to accumulate 32,005 by January in order to make that payment.
Right.
So they started charging that. Now, back in the day when there was a South New Berlin Water Board, it was discussed that if you had a late fee, because we were charging late fees, if you didn't have water, only pay debt, then
See,
So-
I disagree with that. That should help.
that is fine for
Yeah.
Right.
now, and it's also fine to go back 2 years, but to try to go back 15 years and
That's what
overturn
Joan said. She
what
said,
the
let it
water
go.
board agreed upon.
Right.
So now as you have it, if you agreed to change this 25,000 from the loan fund and put it into operating fund, you're taking
We're putting it into a reserve for
for
operation.
either.
For both, for either one. It can go to the loans, it can go towards this. If we're short on loans, if they pay us, we don't get the relevy in time, we still have the backing. If we.
And we
needed to
do have a
operate it.
healthy balance in there, but if we have 90,000 and we need 30
That's why I don't-
in a couple of weeks, then we have 60 left. With that 60, we should be paying the principal on this loan that's not gonna.
But I don't think the numbers are accurate. I don't think they're all for debt retirement. I really don't. I think they have to be line, and that's why Joan said, just put it in a reserve line. You can use it for, but it still goes to the people in South New Berlin Water. We're not taking away.
But
from
they're
the
still
people.
paying 4% every year on a loan that won't be paid off until the year 2035. But if we make extra loan payments, it'll be paid off sooner, it'll save
I
them
just don't
sooner.
think, I don't think we should do it because we have to borrow from this account to keep the plant running. That's the problem. That's the
And then
problem.
legally, we're supposed to pay it back because it's loan funds. That's what we were told by
But I don't
Joe
think
Donato.
it's accurate loan fund money. If there is, we're charging way too much for these loan funds. We should never
Yeah,
accumulated this much money. There should be 52,000 in that account.
And
There's
from-
90.
From here going on, we're going to separate
It's
what
gonna
is
be
what.
it's gonna
So
be
if they have
accurate.
been separated all these other
But
years. we
I
don't
have
know.
separated them these years, and I can tell you that the money that went into the loan account were for loan,
And I don't know what the
Payments.
re-levy fees used to be years ago.
there were none.
And that's,
We only did the
we've
re-levy
accumulated.
fees.
When did that start?
When did, it was this board that, maybe minus Sarah and April, it was at least the three of you that when Ian came forth and said, why don't we charge a re-levy fee for all these people that aren't paying? And
No,
then you
it-
guys agreed upon
Virtual was
200.
here when we did it. Sarah wasn't here. It was virtual.
I said minus,
She said.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
yes.
So
So
minus the
I'm
two
just
down.
saying, we're
Well-
leaving it in the, I don't want to, I really want it, what we should do is have different accounts for all these lines, because it would be so much easier to manage. But I think the billing, and I just don't think it's been allocated right, and I don't really, I feel like it's for water, and it doesn't matter as long as we don't. All we need to have in that account is 5,200 or 52,000 every year. Like this year we collected, it goes, we have enough to cover all of our bills and the old and the new.
I don't think there's anything, when that loan started, for so many years you had to pay that loan.
Right,
And each year you paid that amount. There's nothing in that loan that says that you have to pay it early. You just have to make sure you pay it.
exactly. We don't have to make an early
And I'm not
payment,
saying.
but I know that'll help it
businesses
because
pay
we're
things
gonna
early.
have,
But
yeah.
at the same time, you just can't do it. You
Yeah.
gotta put money so you
Because we're
can.
talking about 40,000, we're gonna pay an early
That water.
payment, but I'm afraid to pay 2 early payments because what if something happens and we need money? And we can't get a grant, we
Well, that's
can't
what
get a
I'm-
loan,
that's
I don't
what
wanna
I'm-
take a bank loan.
But
I
then
think
you'll need to
it'll change
recalculate the
progressively.
loans and the interest, because the interest went down when the loan payments went up. So the amount that we're charging the people, the third of the customers that are only paying for the loan, we're overcharging them because you would have to reallocate every year what your debt retirement payment's gonna be. So-
And I think that's what should have happened.
They've been overpaying
Paying.
loan payments and they don't even have water. So right now,
And there's 147 that pay the 360, is that correct?
I think there's more than that. We're getting the accurate numbers as we are going through all the accounts.
And then there's 120 that pay for water? Or is there more now?
We're finalizing all those figures
You
as
don't
he
have
goes
a
in.
rough idea? No idea.
I think there's actually
'Cause I think that's how
153
I figured.
customers. I think we actually have
153 now?
153 customers. And one, we're not sure why they never were, so there might be 154 now that we're getting a real good.
Okay, so 154 that get water and pay debt retirement.
I'm giving you rough figures, so
But
yeah,
I
that's
just want to know what one it is. Is it debt retirement or is it?
everybody has to pay the debt retirement.
Right.
So it's
every single
150
customer.
people average total, you
Yep.
think now? And then how many people just pay debt retirement about? I don't need a full figure about.
About 121 or 122 pay water.
Out of
So-
that 153.
So 30 that wouldn't pay for water services, and they're just over there,
Just get perfect, right.
Right.
approximately.
So that's what I propose. We don't have to pass it. We can just let it sit in the bank account. But this way I think it's more clear that there's not getting any mix up. We're not borrowing money from the debt retirement. It'll all be in one account, but it'll be on the balance sheet as how much if you look at your balance sheet, it says debt retirement and then we can put operation. I just think it's the right thing to do. And then if we can get a
Right.
grant, we can, hey, we can put 5,000 up towards the grant. We can put, because right now in that account,
I'm just saying, I'd ask an attorney if by law you can take people's loan payments and pay operating water when they are not water customers.
Debbie,
When we
there's
send
still,
them the
it's
bill, what does it say on their bill?
debt
Debt
retirement.
retirement
It says
for
debt
1998 and debt retirement 2014.
Well, I think the numbers are not accurate. I don't think all that money's supposed to be in that debt retirement.
And we went over a couple of years, and in
Because
honesty,
otherwise, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to go back to 1996 and figure out.
You
how they
can't
did
go
it.
I
that
got
far
a couple
back.
questions.
Yep.
The last time I remember discussing this loan,
Mhm.
the payments change every X amount of years, right?
Yep.
Have we changed how much we charge?
No,
no.
Why?
Because the board has never voted to change what it was, so it's just been accumulating in there. And then I remember several years back, Bob had said, a conversation between him and I don't know about any board members, that what we would do is once that was accumulated, we'd make an extra principal payment. We called the loan company because we tried to redo the note, but it was gonna cost too much money to get bond counsel and everything else. They said it's not worth it for what you have left on there, which I'd have to look and find out what it is now. But they said, but you can make extra payments.
Mhm.
But we were always so tight in water, and checking always had to borrow from the loan fund, and then it would pay it back by the end of the year, that we were nervous about making that extra payment.
Okay.
And now the interest has gone down even more because the principal has gone up. So now it's accumulating faster. So now there is money in there to make these extra loan payments. And I've been saying for the last 2 years, we need to make these extra loan payments, but we've still sat on that money, and now we have 60 extra thousand in there.
So if we change what we're billing them now,
No, we haven't yet. No,
no, we
Yeah.
haven't.
No.
No, they're still getting 360.
they're still
so are
paying
we going to
360.
change that?
We
in January?
really need to figure out what it's lowered down to and get it more accurate.
Okay.
I
Right.
feel. because
But
we-
Joan and I sat into the
because
last
it's
2
about
years.
3,000 extra, I think, because we rounded it up,
Mhm.
that we collect that's just extra.
Mhm.
Not counting levy fees, not counting any of
Yeah, I
that.
don't think we should be collecting anything extra on
It should
bond
be,
loans. And as far as trying to prove where the money came from the past however many years, since we borrow from it all the time, I think you just put it into, like you say, a line.
this is what Joan recommended, and I said, and then she's like, I don't know if these numbers are, I'm like, we're not spending it. We're just gonna put it and say it's an operational reserve line. It can go either way.
Right.
But just so we know, when you borrow from, because she goes, Wendy, I forgot we never paid the 2,000 back from to, and I'm like, okay, so we gotta do that. So that's actually not gonna be correct. It's gonna be 23.
I'm just
But it-
emotionally attached to this because I've been asking for years to make the extra payments, because I know since 2014, the money that has gone into that savings account has been for the loan. They were people who were making loan payments. Yes,
Well,
they were
I
paying
need to-
extra.
Well, we can table it
And-
and I'll look over it. She can
Joan
send me
and
out
I-
all of her stuff and I can look at it and
I
see.
sent it all to Joan today. Joan and I looked over just the last 2 years. I didn't realize that when I was giving the taxes to Joan, she was actually putting in the checking account what was on the budget, not what needed to go in.
Not what, it's
So in
never been
reality,
accurate.
But so
Like
in
the
reality,
levy charges have never been accurate.
okay, but in reality, what we figured out today is that checking actually owes savings, the loan payments, $6,000. Because she put more in checking than was supposed to go in checking.
Which we
So-
can do, take that 6,000 off of this reserve. fund
But
and put
so
it in
the
there.
checking has already been overpaid 6,000 of loan payments. And now to do another 25, I just feel like we're taking people's loan payments and we're doing something different than what we prepared and told them we were doing with the money they gave us.
I don't think
We
any
don't
of
put
them
money,
know.
if we don't put money towards it.
Well, we're
Water
not
department,
taking it.
You ain't gonna have no water department, they're
Yeah.
gonna be paying a loan, and you ain't gonna have no water.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have, those percentage don't have water anyway.
Well,
So those are the ones the
You're
biggest
talking,
affected.
you're
Yeah.
talking if there's
Well,
not, you're talking
okay.
31 people.
Possibly. I will get my books and I will
I
count the
mean,
sheets
I
out. I've
always
been
thought it
working
was
on so much water stuff.
147. I thought it was 147, and so it was
legally,
27
you know,
people.
legally, I guess I could argue, should those people be paying their retirement first place?
And they're gonna have to pay it if we
Yeah.
can't keep putting money in this plant because it's, as you see, people's water is cleaner. They're happy.
Oh, good.
We're doing the
Lot
right
better.
thing.
Yes, you are.
We're doing
Could
the
you
right
imagine
thing.
taking out a
Sometimes
third loan
We're
when the
not, that's what I mean.
1999
That's
loan
why.
still isn't
I mean, we're
paid?
not taking the money. We're not spending the money. We're just putting it on our balance sheet as a operate and reserve line. Just so we can figure it out and then we can get accurate as we go. Maybe after we get the re-levies for 2024, we can start an actual reserve. We can pay another loan payment. Because we're gonna start keeping the stuff separate and we're gonna have the money allocated to the right lines. I'm just saying, do now. We can table it now and wait till the end of 2025, or we can just put it on our budget, on our balance sheet. And this is, I mean, I sat with Joan for quite a while and this is what, and then she came up with all these numbers. Well, we owe this, which we can adjust that number. And I can bring this back and she can adjust it.
She
Maybe it
said
should
she
be
came up
lower.
with this because she didn't have any of the numbers I gave you, that color coded 2 years that I gave you of the,
So, because we were just,
re-levies.
she goes, Wendy, we're not going back. Because I literally printed out and I've been looking at it and I'm like, I can't figure this out, Joan. I mean, in the budget, you look in the budget press, there wasn't even enough money that we spent. I don't even know where they came up with the money. I have no idea how they paid for it and paid it back. And
Well, it looked like it.
yeah, so this was just Joan's suggestion. I agreed with her. I wrote the resolution. Do you want to table it? Do you want to move forward with it? It's up to you, board. You guys make the decision.
I'll move
Debbie
forward.
can give me the notes and I can have Joan sit down and crunch the last 2 years
She
better.
did. She crunched them today. We did it on the phone for 45 minutes and I gave you the notes last month. You didn't understand. And so then I gave them to her. She said she was going to sit with you and explain them.
She tried to
That as of
and
today,
she's like,
checking,
oh,
the
and we're- so
operational
I can
expense-
change this number and that, so it's, because I'm telling you right now, 18,000 of that is re-levy. I can guarantee you 18,000 is re-levy.
no, re-levy went into checking. All of re-levy, we looked, the last 3 years, all of the re-levy fees went into checking. We actually looked.
Well, I don't understand what you guys are doing because you're doing something wrong. If we are
No.
supposed to collect 38,000, we only budget to spend 38,000. We've gone over budget. That's when we go over budget. Like, we shouldn't be spending more than 38,000 of water that we collect. We shouldn't be spending more than 52 a year. That's all we collect. I don't understand the re-levy fees and stuff. That should have been put in a reserve. It shouldn't have been using for cost of running the department.
And that could
Re-levy
be
fees
done
should
from
have-
this point
But it
forward.
never was. That's why this amount is so high.
No, it was going in checking.
And use
checking
it
would
for
be high.
everyday water bills. But it should have been, Debbie.
The
Re-levy
savings
should
is
have
not
been.
that, the savings is not that high
I'm
because of
done.
re-levy.
Do you want to
Okay,
table
the
it?
last thing to think about here
I'm
is if
done.
we ask Joan to look at the numbers and come up with a different number,
Come
we
on.
have to pay her to do coming up with more numbers. Do we want to have more expense? Or do we
We
wanna
came up
just
with the
do-
numbers today.
Or do we want to just do what was already recommended to us by the same person?
Right, and just keep it in there. I mean, it's gonna be in the same money market account, that's the revolving loan money. And we just allocate it there, so it looks I just.
I think we should do this and start fresh, because
And
we're
then we'll
gonna-
start from the beginning.
and
and then next
we're gonna
year,
be
if we still
charging the
have
correct
this-
amount, we're gonna
Yes.
be,
Putting it in the right
lining.
lines. And if this still is there, then we can pay another principal payment on the loan at the end of next year.
that's how I feel about it.
Because it's just staying in the same, I didn't want to open I didn't want to move it out of that account. I want to leave it there, but I want to allocate it to put it on the balance sheet. That's all I'm doing. We're not
I
spending.
introduced resolution 56.
Okay. I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I'm good.
I would love for anybody on this board to sit with me and I will show you the figures in black and white.
Well, I'll sit back. I'm meeting with Joan again tomorrow because she's going to show it to me all over again. But we get to make this decision. We're not spending the money, though. It's not like we're spending it. We're paying an extra payment. Next year, if our accounts are better, we'll pay another extra payment. If the following year they're better, we'll pay another extra principal payment. But I just don't think I just don't understand it. And Joan has to sit with me. And she was busy today. I got there late because we were in executive session. We didn't have enough time to go through all of it. And I've already had this ready. And this is what Joan recommended to me last week.
She did, just for the last time, she did that without knowing that this money had already been allocated the way it was. And when I explained it, she
Well,
looked at it.
We
She's
can
got all
make
the
it right
documents.
now and change the
Right.
balance
Okay.
sheet. And then we can make another resolution to change the 6,000 that she says was taken and put back into the bond fund. If she can figure it out and show us, we can do
With
that.
the information that's been presented so far, I think we should do this. If there's new information, we
We
can change
We
our
can
mind.
we can amend resolution 66 to a different amount.
Right.
There you go.
Christian,
I'm gonna abstain.
Wales Wright,
Yes.
Stockwell,
Yes.
Reifenberg,
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Okay, next, resolution 67. Does someone want to read it?
Sure.
Or do you want me to read it?
No, I won't.
Okay.
Whereas the town of Brown has determined that the ARPA money market fund needs to be to transfer $8,897 to the power source pump line, FX 8324, because it is over budget. This was for the enhancement of our water district. Now therefore be it resolved, the town of Brown board has to amend the budget line FX 8320.4 power source pump CE line for the amount of $8,897 on the ARPA money market account.
That was all those things that we went over in
Yep.
2024, and that's what it came out to be. Okay.
Reifenberg,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wales Wright,
Yes.
Stockwell,
Yes.
Christian.
Yes. Okay, resolution 68. Of 2024, authorizing the town budget to amend the budget, whereas the town of New Berlin has determined that the FX 8320.4, the power source pump CE ARPA line is over budget by $4,526.96 because of the propane tank from Norton's Gas to complete the installation of the generator and the extra batteries for the computer ER. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the town of Berlin will transfer $4,526.96 from the ARPA money market to the FX 8320.4 power source pump line. Introduced by Wendy, John,
Wales Wright,
Yes.
Stockwell,
Yes.
Christian.
Yes.
Reifenberg,
yes.
Parks.
Okay. That's that. And if you look on your thing, that's the exact amount we're over in that ARPA line, okay? Oh, just did that. Okay, correspondence, and I don't know if I'm supposed to bring this up at the board meeting, but we got a thing from the county over the amount of who voted for that proposition on the ballot. So I don't know if you put that in, did everybody get one that was
No,
on my
I
desk?
just gave it to you because they give it to me to file with the local law
Okay,
as,
so,
to not file the local.
I don't know if you all wanted to see it. So that came from the board.
That's
Yeah.
all.
Okay, oh, you saw, it. Okay. All right, so that was correspondence. Any other business relating to the town?
Not for me.
Okay. Anybody need to go into executive session? Nothing? Okay. Roy, you want to adjourn? I need an adjournment motion.
Oh, certainly.
I know you
Well,
get
she made
pleasure.
one
of-
earlier, but
I'll adjourn.
she got brushed off.
Okay,
so-
Sarah, I need a second.
I second it.
April, I want a cookie.
Take a cookie.
Is it Sarah or Roy?
It's Sarah and April. He's sticking with the original. He's sticking with the original. Okay, so I gotta give this.
What have you done?
Debbie, I printed something
Hour
out that
ago.
needs to be notarized and sent in. I printed them out. Do you want to notarize it tonight or do you want to do it tomorrow?
I can notarize it tonight.
Because I don't even know where it goes. It was on, was it on my desk or was it an email? I can't even remember.
Are you okay?